welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Fixing Up the Commonwealth, and we're going to do our last couple of builds for the year. Yes, it's amazing. 2018 is drawing to a close, so we're going to concentrate in this area today. This build will be done in two parts, basically because it kind of ran into 35 to 40 minutes, so I've split it down and into bite-sized chunks for you, so that you don't have to spend the 35-40 minutes watching it and falling asleep and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into the build menu and we'll get cracking. So as you can see, I've chucked some fences in here. I chucked them in just to kind of define the area. I'm going to get rid of these because the building we're about to build is going to define this area, and it's going to be effectively the defensive wall for this area. And given it's coming up to the festive season, or I guess by the time we drop this it will be well and truly in the festive season, we are going to build a bar, or a pub as we say in the UK. Anyway, it's going to be a drinking establishment, and we will get this, we'll get it built, and we're actually going to do a little bit of decoration just to give you a flavour in the part 2 of this build. Now, it just, I don't know, it just lends, this area here just lends itself to having a building at the end of it, because it draws your eye straight in. I would like your help to come up with a name for the bar, pub, drinking establishment, whatever you would like to call it in the slog. So down below, guys, either in this episode or the second episode, leave your comments, and we'll name the pub on whoever the winner is. We've done this in the past, a little bit of fun, and yeah, we'll see who comes up with the most original name. And I know you guys are very, very creative when you give me ideas. So we're going to do a reasonable size foundation here, about 6, so 2 by 3, 6 foundations. Just want to get it straight to the boundary line as much as possible, but I have allowed a little bit on the boundary line to allow for walls and stuff to go in there. Now this build, my goodness, fights me like you would not believe, but anyway, we do get there, and persistence, as I've said many times in the past, wins over. So I've got a reasonably firm idea what I want this to look like. As far as the way the building is, we're going to use probably snappy house kits for this fairly predominantly, and maybe warehouse rearranged just to get textures. I want a couple of textures on here, but also want a very rustic look, if you like, if that's the best way of describing it. So we're just putting some stairs in here. I'm going to go to the stairs that come with workshop rearranged, because they'll snap to this quite nicely. And you can see I've varied up the floors as well in here. Now it's pretty standard kind of build, but I'll show you how to kind of get your basic build and then add a little bit of character to it, so it looks a little bit different in the second part of the build. So there we go, we have some stairs, it leads up to the veranda and then into the barn. That's how it's going to look. Now I'm going to have a look around and see what I can find as far as walls go with snappy house kits. So while you were looking for some walls, I'd like to know what you want for Christmas. What do you want for Christmas, guys? Have you been good this year? Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let's have some fun while we're building. Usually as I know a lot of you probably are parents, and yeah, we don't tend to get a lot for Christmas. It's more about the kids. Now you can see this has been an absolute dick. It does not want to go the right way around. So we do solve this, and it's important. I'll leave things like this in because these are the things that will frustrate the heck out of you when you're building. Now, I persist for a while in turning them around, and it is going nah. And what it actually is it's those foundations that are sitting in front of it that will form the veranda. So this is where one of the biggest dramas starts in this build. This is the first one. There are quite a few. So I'm like, it's probably that. So usually it's a build order thing. You watch this just snap straight in there. I go, okay, beauty. So now that I've got that snapped the right way around, we'll just put that back in. No, you won't. No. It's causing collision issues. So we do get it back in eventually, but I think I'll get tired of doing this and go, I'll just move on. I'll put this next part in, and then we'll worry about that in a sec. Yep, get rid of that for a sec. Right, so that should just snap right in there. Oh, okay. No, it's going to snap the wrong way round. So we have to end up pulling all of this off to snap the walls in build order as ever. And it's the same actually in Fallout 76. I've been watching quite a few videos on Fallout 76 and come to the same conclusion that it actually does have a lot to do with build order. I mean, I've got a little bit frustrated with Fallout 76, I won't lie, but I've got to just learn the build order. And the build order is a little bit different in that game to it is in Fallout 4, and I think that's what the frustration for me is. So this will snap in eventually, and I think what I'll go and do is say, you know what, why don't we use one of those smaller foundation. You can see how this is thinking time for me now. I'm like, yeah, how I'm going to fix this. So we do a transition because I'm scratching my head for quite a while. I go, well, you know what? I wonder if the little one will snap in. And these little quarter blocks, a lot of the time, will get you out of trouble for some reason. I don't know why. I've said it many times in the past, but they just, I don't know, they just seem to work. Now, you can see it's not going to be that easy, but eventually we get this to work. So again, I'm thinking about, okay, what can we snap to this? So what I try next is I try one of these floors. Oh, and there you go. There you go, it snaps on there. Very strange that the foundation wouldn't snap, but these will for some reason. So I'll take the win. I can work around that. And make something out of that. There we go. Click, 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 and we are done. Goes the trolley. Here we go. And that'll snap straight to there, and we're fixed. Okay, so that's floating. We will fix that towards the end of the build. I promise. Do you believe me? I'm sure you do. Coming along nicely. I'm going to probably replace that wall on the left hand side next to the door with a window because I like symmetry. It looks a bit strange with that window on the left and one on the right. So at some point, you read my mind. I will change that, I think. And then what you got to remember if you're building a bar as well is allow some room for putting things on walls and stuff like that, depending on where you plan to put your actual physical bar. So I'm probably going to put it in that corner there, and we'll snap all these in. So today is really okay. So this guy here that is going to live in that apartment is now going to be looking at a brick wall pretty much. But you know what, it's pretty similar to the hotel I stayed in Paris with my wife a couple of years ago. We had a beautiful aspect of a lovely brick wall, so you know, I wanted to replicate that sometime in my builds just for nostalgic purposes. True story. Okay, so we're getting there. It's looking okay. As ever, I always encourage you to step back and have a look at this and just see how it's looking. So the last thing we're going to do today is just pop on a floor upstairs and then we'll be done. Like I said, it's in two parts, so this is a lot of kind of getting the base building right and getting things all sorted. In the second episode, it will get much more interesting. Now, I have an issue. I have no idea why these floors that come with snappy gaskets do not snap on to that particular building. And you can see I'm looking for floors here, there isn't any, and I'm like, that's a bit strange. Anyway, we just go, I just go, you know what, try something else. And this is what I'd encourage you to do. So I'm looking at roofs here for some unknown reason. So what I encourage you to do, if one thing doesn't work, go and try another mod and see if it works. And it's exactly what we do here. And strangely enough, the floors, I think, from the warehouse or the barn work on these walls, but yet the ones in the mod that I'm using don't. So no idea why. You see? Yep, see? Just went green for some reason. Very, very strange. But anyway, I'll take the win. I'm not too bothered what the floors look like, to be honest, in this build. There we go. Now we're going to put a stairway. Now I try a couple of ideas with the stairways, and actually go to a different one in the end, as it turns out. But we'll stick that in there for now. And we're going to use the one that comes with snappy gaskets, but we will change that out in before the end of the build. So I guess that's why you run a whole heap of different mods. You can get different looks using different parts of things from various mods, and but also for me it's a practical thing too, because it allows you to troubleshoot things like that. So I'm going to put that stairway in there. What I end up thinking is that it actually takes up far too much space for me as far as the design goes, so I end up getting rid of it. But we'll put it in for now. It does tend to be a little bit challenging putting it in, but we get it in eventually. And then we'll finish up for today. So thanks for joining us on the channel. Hope you've enjoyed the start of this pub. As I said, please leave your creative names for the pub down below, and we will name it in your honour. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and we'll catch you next time on Fixing Up the Commonwealth. See ya.